The ICC T20 World Cup started off rather shakily with the pitches in New York coming under the scanner, low-scoring matches, but skyrocketing ticket prices. That's what everyone was crying foul over. Then there was Dallas, a stadium which had a seating capacity of around 7,500. You still thought it's a small compromise to make for a new venture, Cricket World Cup in America. But along came Florida, and suddenly there were some setbacks, more setbacks rather than gains for the ICC. While New York and the Nassau County Stadium brought criticism, the Lauderhill Cricket Stadium in Florida added more fuel to the fire, ironically caused by showers. 4 matches were organized in Florida, and out of the 4, 3 were abandoned without a single ball being bowled. Clearly, cricket didn't reach Florida. Just one game, and that was that. Not the kind of publicity for cricket making its way into the country for the first time. The lone match played out ended up being a dead rubber, and all that was also thanks to the showers partly. Ireland versus Pakistan, Sri Lanka's match against Nepal, the USA game versus Ireland, and India taking on Canada were all abandoned. This despite not a drop of rain on match day, and yet the game had to be cancelled. Why? Now, the outfield was wet and damp. Water had not drained out completely. The stadium simply couldn't handle it, and the facilities were just not up to the mark. Clearly a situation that brought lack of cricket infrastructure in the US into sharp focus. But this situation could have been avoided. All over the world, we've seen the entire grounds being covered in case of rain, especially when there is prediction of one, like there was in Florida. Kolkata's Eden Gardens in India, despite having a good drainage system, covers its ground to its entirety when it rains. All the grounds in Sri Lanka do that too, because rain is a common occurrence there in most of these venues. And in Florida, where there was a state of emergency due to floods, maybe the ICC and the organizers could have been better prepared. If a country like Sri Lanka, which is struggling economically, has had many more problems to deal with, can do so, why not the US? Now, I understand USA isn't a cricketing nation, but since the ICC was staging this event, because taking cricket to America was paramount, it was their responsibility to ensure everything along with that went off smoothly. How we don't have more covers to cover all the ground is beyond me. That's what Michael Vaughan says, all the money in the game, and yet we still get games called off. Former England captain Michael Vaughan was appalled after ICC's failure to address the issue. Fans were most disappointed. Many of them couldn't get tickets to the big face-offs elsewhere. They had to come to see India's star players play against Canada in Lauderhill, Florida.
Request to ICC that it should not host the matches where there are no covers to cover the entire ground. So many people were waiting to see top stars in action, but they were denied. All the ground organizations have to have covers that cover the entire ground. You can't give the excuse that you don't have money for covers. However good your ground drainage system is, you have to have covers. Here in America, where do they get to see so many top-class players? Give them the opportunity. So get the covers for the entire ground. Everybody can do that.
So if you thought it was just the lack of facilities in place and ICC not really ensuring that the stadium would be well equipped to handle a World Cup, then there's more. Although ICC says they will refund the tickets, there's a rider. That refund will only be applicable for tickets that were bought from the official website. So the refund doesn't apply if they were purchased from reselling websites or elsewhere, which many surely would have. So for those who paid extra to catch a match that got washed out, basically go home without getting even a glimpse of the cricketers, and now not a penny back. Not exactly the win-win situation that the ICC was hoping for. There are some heartwarming stories that are emerging from the World Cup. Players who've beaten cancer to play, a service worker's son representing his country, the oldest cricketer featuring at this World Cup. Let's hope these stories make up for some of the big misses that defines the USA leg of what was supposed to be the biggest tournament in the world.
Firstpost reports from the world's second largest continent. Hello, I'm Alison Lagrange. A very warm welcome from Durban, South Africa. We get you the news and the newsmakers from Africa. From elections to climate change to innovations and opportunities. As the world's attention shifts, we report from Africa, the heart of the global south. Join me every weekday live on First Post.